Well, good morning, Mini Path Spiritual Center, and welcome to the sanctuary. It's nice and toasty warm in here. It's a little chilly outside if you haven't already noticed. But we're going to warm it up by singing a couple of songs back to back. So on behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill, and this is the Sanctuary Band. Say hey, everybody. That's Jackson and Daphne. So let's all stand up and sing a couple of songs, get our blood flowing, get our spirits raised, and get ready for a great service today. We're going to swing wide the doors because we're going to let in the light. 2, 3, 4. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years, and I've learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. What's it about? It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Swing in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Sing it again. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. All right.
Well, everybody can get mad at Rev Deb for muting my bass. So
Thank you so much.
it would have been really good.
Here we go. This is my wish. This is my wish for the world. That peace would find its way to every boy and girl. This is the time for harmony. Let love be the song that everybody sings. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light and let it shine. Shine find its way to every boy and girl. Let it start with you. Let it start with me. Let every nation rise and sing this melody. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light and let it shine. Shine, shine, shine. Let every voice be heard. Let there be peace on earth. Oh, 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 let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Oh, let every voice be heard. Let there be peace on earth. Let every voice be heard. Let there be peace on earth. Yes. All right, please be seated. If there's any kids, I'd like to go with Mr. Ben and Mr. Frank.
What? My name's Daphne. What's your name?
Oh boy, Ben and Frank together. Who sanctioned that? I think we need to have a staff meeting with Miss Steph. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Mini Path Spiritual Center. This is a wonderful time of the year for us because we get to celebrate the holidays the way that we celebrate the holidays, which is peace, love, joy, and kindness, right? Kindness is at the top of the list for all of us here today, and we're going to sing a little bit about that later. Kindness is number one. Kindness is the gift that keeps on giving, right? And you receive more than you give when you practice kindness all the time. So we're here to celebrate that. We're here to peel back the layers and discover who we truly are as divine children of the divine, right? So welcome, everybody. We are a vibrant spiritual community, and let's do some announcements to show what all's coming up. Hi, Kat. Good morning. She would be the cat in the hat at that point. So, yeah.
Good morning. Okay. Join Steph for Happy Class Tuesdays at 6 p.m. where fitness meets fun. This Tuesday's class will feature a cardio drumming rock out designed for everybody. The cost is $10 and sign-ups are in the front room. Come and celebrate the winter solstice. The Lord of Light is honored and celebrated by creating a Yule log. This symbol of brilliance and hope will illuminate your path through the colder months. Sign-ups in the front room to create your own and mark this winter solstice in your life. Sunday, December 21st, after the service. Sign-up sheet in the front room. Okay. Join us for a pranic energy healing clinic. Deborah Champion will be hosting the event that is open to anyone who is open to energy healing. The clinic will be open from 4 to 6 on December 21st here at Mini Paths Spiritual Center. Join us on December 24th at 6:30 p.m. for a special 1-hour traditional and intimate Christmas Eve candlelight service. We will hear the Christmas story, sing beloved Christmas carols, and join together in the spirit of the special season. This service is the perfect time to invite friends and loved ones to share in your spiritual community. All activity and meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website in the weekly happenings email, on the Google Calendar, or you can always email the church.
Good morning, Mini Pass.
Good morning.
Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is service to others is a manifestation of our love and a pathway to peace. When we serve other people, we are not only able to see outside ourselves, but we are able to see the beauty and good that brings us beyond ourselves. We realize that we can create the reality of both a prosperous and sustainable world. By developing values of care towards the disadvantaged, compassion for those suffering, and tolerance for people with a different outlook on life, we tend to find out more about ourselves. Helping others is a humbling activity that shifts our perspective and makes us look at our own life from all angles. Consequently, we start transforming aspects of our lives for the better. When we come together in service as a spiritual community, we strengthen our bond as we help others in need. If serving others is a spiritual practice, we can only deepen our love for each other when we serve together. When we show up together in service to our community, we show the world that we take our principles to heart and are serious about doing the work it takes to create a better world. Simply put, our spiritual community is defined by how we serve our community. And now, please repeat these affirming statements after me. I gladly and willingly give from my abundance to help others in need. When I help others, my life flourishes. I find joy in giving, for it reminds me that I am blessed. And so it is.
What a beautiful segue into our monthly song, our congregational song this month. I'll tell you a quick story. Friday night, Frank and I had dinner with an old friend. Hadn't seen her in a long time, and Frank just asked, well, what are you doing this coming weekend? And she said, well, Saturday morning, because it's going to be so cold on Sunday, I'm going to get up and hand out blankets to the unhoused people that live in the Centennial Park area. And we were like, oh, are you doing that through an organization? She said, no, I just called up all my friends and to see if they had any extra blankets, because I was driving through Centennial Park a week ago, and there were so many people that were asleep on the grounds at about 7 o'clock in the morning as I was going into work. And she said, I thought about Sunday and how cold it's going to be. So I just called on my friends, and we have 50 blankets that I'm going to pass out on Saturday morning. And I thought, my goodness, one person impacted 50 lives in one morning. And I thought, boy, if just 1 out of 10 of us could do that, how could we change the world? And it is that kind of kindness that we teach here at Many Paths, and that's what we're going to sing about today. Let's see how much we can remember from last week. We can be kind. Let's all stand. So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. Maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? To nobody want to see it, 'cause nobody understand. The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind, we can take care of each other, we can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about it, not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it, you and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind, we can take care of each other, we can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. Maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Please be seated.
Is that chorus not just gorgeous? I mean, it's everything. That chorus, I was like listening to the chorus thinking, we can just go home now, right? That chorus is everything. We can be kind to each other. I have to tell you, when I accidentally muted Jackson's bass at the beginning, I've been sitting back there ever since then thinking of the 14 different talks I could give based on that metaphor alone, right? We all want to be heard, right? Sometimes others try to silence our voice, and we have the power to go make sure it's heard, right? But I think the best metaphor, and the one that we're going to take into meditation here, is this. A muted bass is kind of like, no, I'm serious. I'm going to a serious place here, Jackson. I know, right? I planned this. No, I didn't. It's like when we kind of halfway show up places. And we're there. We did it. We checked a box. We fulfilled a commitment. We showed up. But maybe we weren't fully there. Not fully present, fully engaged in that moment. We didn't bring the fullness of ourself, our beingness. And if we don't bring the fullness of our beingness to this moment, that's all we have. This moment and our own beingness. It's all we have. So I invite you for just a moment to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. To settle in your seat and move your body in whatever kind of way helps it to let go of tension. Fully relax. Whatever it is that might be on your mind, let it go for right now. You can pick it back up again later. Don't worry. It doesn't have a role in this moment. Wherever your mind wants to take you that is outside of this space and this time. Maybe you've got kids out in the youth program and you're thinking about them. They're okay. They're okay. Just let that go. Maybe you've got a to-do list that you want to get done this afternoon. You can't do anything about it right now. Just let it go. For this moment, be nothing but here. Let go of everything that would take you outside of this moment. Be fully present. Bring your whole beingness into the sanctuary. In the temple of now, there is just sacred presence. Separating that presence between you and the divine doesn't even make sense. Just like separating a wave from the ocean doesn't really make sense. Be in this moment fully with holy presence in the stillness, in the silence. The more that we practice being in the now as nothing but sacred presence, the more that we are able to call it up on a dime. Bring it into every situation. Bring it into every moment of service. We're able to bring the fullness of ourself as a gift to the world. That is how we birth the Christ within, the anointed one, the sacred one. That is the very life energy that animates us, the energy in which we live and move and have our being. During this sacred time of the year, as we talk about bringing that Christ nature to full life, remember that this is how it happens. to be in sacred presence, consciously, fully, every moment you can. And so it is.
Long ago, a child was born, a gift to all mankind, a gift that's with us still today. If we seek Him, peace we'll find. Let me see Him, let me be Him in all I do and say. Let me hold Him closer to me every time I pray. For I know this child is made of nothing but pure love. Let that love be born anew in me each day. As we celebrate with joy this guilt, this holy birth, let us see the difference we can make as a child of God on earth. Let me see Him, let me be Him in all I do and say. Let me hold Him closer to me every time I pray. For I know this child is made of nothing but pure love. Let that love be born anew in me each day. Let that love be born anew in me each day.
All right, I got homework for you.
Already?
Already. Homework at the beginning. This week, I want you to look in the mirror at yourself, not at anyone. If you see someone else when you look in the mirror, well, that's someone that's above my pay grade. But I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to sing, "For I know this child is made of," right? Nothing but pure love. Let that love be born anew in me each day. That is the Christ child, being born again into the world. So, happy Hanukkah. Since we're talking about Christmas, happy Hanukkah. Today's the first day of Hanukkah. Hanukkah, L'chaim, Shag, Shamik, whatever that thing is that you're supposed to say. Yeah. At any rate, happy Hanukkah. We are an interfaith group, and so we honor the wisdom that is found in all faith traditions. And so we have a tendency, if we ever seem to be focusing on Christianity, it's because we are culturally Christian. We understand that lens. But nonetheless, we're open to all the lenses. Maybe I'll do a little Hanukkah talk next week. Who knows? It's a good thing about Hanukkah. It'll last long enough that you can be flexible, right? You can be a little flexible. And from my Jewish friends, I know that Hanukkah is also a time of gifts, and we're going to talk about gifts today. Look at that little kid dragging the tree through this. Doesn't that just look like such a very pure, innocent 1950s Christmas right there, doesn't it? Yeah. So I remember a day about 25 years ago, a core memory that happened to me, and I happened to live out on some land, about 9 acres of land, and some friends were out. They had come out about this time of the month, about this time of the year, and they had come out to walk the property that I lived on and find a Christmas tree. We were just going to go find a Christmas tree, cut it down. We had our little saws. There was snow on the ground, which is kind of rare for Middle Tennessee at this time of the year, but I do remember we just had a snowfall. We were all bundled up. There were 4 of us walking through the woods, looking for just the right tree, and it was a day kind of like today. It was a little bit warmer than today, but it had that winter crystal clear sunshine. You know what I'm talking about? That very crisp winter sunshine. And it was just a gorgeous day, and we're walking through all the woods and stuff and looking for something, and all of a sudden, my friend, now this is a time, remember, 25 years ago. It might be 30 years ago now. I'm so old. Now that I think about it, it was over 30 years ago. But nonetheless, oh my God. Nonetheless, it was at a time before we started having a lot of affirming churches. And I had grown up in the church. My father was a minister. I'd gone to church. I'd went to a church school, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And I was reaching the point in my life, in my 20s, when at that time in the world, the choice felt like God or gay. That's what the choice felt like. You can either have God or you can be gay. Well, I didn't have a choice over here, right? I knew enough about my experience in my life to know that that was not a choice. And so I had this feeling like I was not allowed to have that other part over there. So I just shut it off. And I'm walking through the woods, and one of my friends all of a sudden just stopped, and all 4 of us were gay. So that's pertinent to the story. I'm not just telling you that, just to brag. I have so many gay friends. Right? Whatever. We were walking through the woods, and all of a sudden, my friend just stopped and threw her arms open and looked up at the sky and said, "Oh, thank you, God, for this beautiful day." And I'll never forget that moment. That Christmas, whatever Christmas it was, that's the only moment I remember. It's a core memory now. And I remember the feeling of her just unreservedly saying, "Thank you, God, for this beautiful day." And how it warmed my spirit, it warmed my heart, right? So I remember that's what I think of when I look at that right there. I think about us dragging that Christmas tree back after we cut it down and all that kind of stuff. Christmas trees, of course, have deep pagan roots. They go all the way, all the Christmas trees and the holly and the mistletoe and all that stuff doesn't have anything to do with the baby Jesus, right? Right? The little shepherd boy didn't come back and say, "Oh, by the way, here's some mistletoe for you, baby Jesus." And actually, from about the 16th century on, a decorated tree decorated with apples and candles was very popular in Germany. It was representing the tree of life, right? And so that then in 1848, it's always a history lesson, Queen Victoria and her husband Prince Albert, who was German, because all those Western European royal people were all related to each other in incredibly incestuous ways, right? They were all related to each other. And so Albert was German, and so there was a picture in 1848 of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert standing in front of a Christmas tree. So you know what happened then, right? They became popular. Everybody wanted to have a Christmas tree. In other words, this whole long ancient tradition, it's all what it's all about. You know what? It's only been about that for about 100, 150 years, all right? And so we have these Christmas trees, and the importance of the tree in our era. What is the tree all about to us today? Boom! It's where we put our gifts, right? The importance of the tree is all the gifts that are under the tree. Now, my mother, who is the Queen of Branson, Missouri, is also the Queen of Christmas, all right? She doesn't quite do what she used to do. She's 82 now, and she's kind of eased back a little bit. But it used to be, like, we're talking, the local paper did a full centerfold page spread on her house several years ago with a very moderate middle-class home. She had something like, something like 18 full-size Christmas trees in this house. I kid you not. There was a full-size Christmas tree in every bedroom, in every bathroom. I mean, it was ridiculous. The kitchen had its own tree. It was insane. It was like the elves just kind of threw up in her home. It's just like, it was intense. It was intense. Lights, candles everywhere. And she had like 2 sheds in the backyard that were nothing but Christmas decorations. She'd box them all up, put them away. Christmas was a big thing to my mother. And from the time I was a child, even when we didn't have a lot of money, there were going to be a ton of Christmas presents. I mean, I can remember the whole wall of the living room being lined with Christmas presents. Everybody was going to get 20, 25, 30 presents. I mean, and then she made us all go around one at a time and open those presents. I remember Christmases where we literally took an intermission because we needed to take a break, right? And we needed to go, oh my gosh. And they were amazing. And here's the problem. When I hit my 20s, my mom still did all this. I think I had a full stocking at my mother's house every year until I was about 50, right? With the same candies that I got when I was a kid. And it was still the same kind of thing. But there were moments in my 20s where I was broke. And Christmas didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all. And I used to think about how do I even go home? There were moments where I thought, would it be easier for me just to not go home than to go home empty-handed? You know that gift-giving pressure, right? I talk to more people this time of year who are under that gift-giving pressure. And so, and the gift-giving pressure as we get older morphs into something else. Have you ever like had a good work friend and they're like, hey, let's go to dinner sometime. And you go out to dinner and it happens to be like December 17th. And then they pull a little present out and hand it across. And you're like, oh, we're doing this. I didn't know we were doing this, right? And then you're like, oh, I got you something too. I was going to give it to you next week at work. Right? It's all this kind of pressure. I've so much better like random gifts at different times of the year when it's not affiliated with anything. Let me just randomly give you a gift here. There you go. You weren't expecting it. You're not even thinking you have to give me something back because it was just random out of the blue. It's not this gift-giving pressure. Y'all know about the 5 love languages, right? You know about the 5 love languages, right? Acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, both receiving and giving. I mean, if gifts are your love language, then you give a lot of gifts too. That is not my love language. It is 100% not my love language. You know those friends who remember every birthday and send you a card? Not me. I'm so bad at it. Like, there were times with my family. My sister, I'm sending her a card like a month later. So sorry. This was back in my 20s when you sent cards. Now I just post something on Facebook. Thank God. I think of it that morning. It's like, to the best sister ever. Don't have to. That's right. Facebook reminds you. It's fantastic. But mine is not gifts. I'm terrible at it. I think mine is being present, words of affirmation. I like physical touch. I mean, who doesn't, really? So, and quality time. I love being right here in the moment with people. Like right here. This is the moment. This is what matters. Presence right here. So in the story of the Jesus child being born, we have these 3 wise men. And these 3 wise men have turned out, so much of the Christmas story has turned into something over the years that was never in Scripture. In Scripture, it's only in the Gospel of Matthew. And they're described as magi from the east. Most likely they were astrologers. They had watched the night sky. They had the stars, whatever, blah, 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 and they were following this. That's the story. I mean, Matthew was written 80 years after the birth of Jesus. So it's the mythology that we follow that is important. But we have no idea what really happened. But we have these magi from the east, these astrologers, maybe they're priests. There was no number given in Matthew. We've made them 3 because there were 3 gifts mentioned. At a certain time later on, like in the 6th century, I think, somebody gave them names. Did you know they have names? Yeah, Casper, Melchior, and Balthazar. Those are their names. Yeah. Somebody just randomly gave. It's like, hey, almost all. I'm gonna. You'll want to back up so that the lightning bolt doesn't hit you. I'm gonna stand over here and ground myself. Scripture is mostly fan fiction. Right? Thank you. It's fan fiction. And people keep adding to it, and that's great. People keep adding to the story because it's meaningful to people, right? They were called kings, by the way. We three kings of Orient are. They were never called kings in Matthew. They were named kings later because here's the thing. There was a prophecy in Isaiah that kings would visit the baby Jesus, and prophecies work this way. Either you get lucky and make up something that actually does come true, or after the fact, you look back and say, what did they predict? Let's make the story fit that, right? And so they were these three kings. But they came bearing gifts. And these gifts are symbolic. We know the gifts of the wise men, right? They are gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And these are symbolic gifts. They symbolize something for the baby Jesus. They symbolize the gold was the gift of kings to symbolize his kingship, right? Frankincense was associated with priests. Frankincense was the resin that was used in the temple, representing Jesus' spiritual self, Jesus' divinity. And myrrh is associated with death because it was used for embalming, and it foreshadowed Jesus' suffering and death. So these three gifts were very meaningful in terms of what they meant for Jesus. And they can be meaningful for us today. I think that gold can represent our ego, our achievements, our outer self, our human being that lives and moves through this world and has to go get degrees and get a job and get promotions and get paid and all that kind of stuff, right? Frankincense is our spiritual being. Now, we have our human being, we have our spiritual being. Maybe even we want to call that the spiritual seeker, the one that goes and hangs out in spiritual community, that is warmed and nurtured in a spiritual temple, so to speak. And then myrrh is our awakening, our fully awakened consciousness. Because our fully awakened consciousness must involve a kind of death, right? Some people talk about the death of the ego. Jesus talked about you must be born again, right? This kind of idea where we release all of our attachments. We let go of the old self. We give birth to the new self, right? The self that did not understand awakening, the full awakening, that one is gone. Will never come back again. So let's take a moment to look at the gold, frankincense, and myrrh in our own experience and the gifts that we have to bring. This good news, I'm not going to talk about any kind of gift you have to wrap, right? Because that's part of my thing too, is I hate wrapping gifts. So here we go. Pablo Picasso said, there we go, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Now, a lot of people resonate with this and they go, that's great. Can somebody please tell me what my gift is? I've spent most of my life looking for my gift. And it reminds me, for some reason, I just had, you remember that old Steve Martin, the new phone books are here, my name in print. Like he was so excited. Look, I'm here, I'm validated. What is my gift? If someone would just tell me, I will live it. I will live it fully. And I will fulfill my purpose. And coming from Pablo Picasso, we might have a tendency to think that his gift would be painting, art, right? We tend to think of gift as a talent or a skill, something that we do. But I would bet that Picasso, who was a genius, that Picasso would probably say that his gift was not art. His gift was his way of seeing the world. His gift was his awareness, his understanding. The painting was just the medium through which he offered his gift. But his gift came from inside. Because you see, your gift is not a talent or a skill or a sense of humor or something that can be wrapped and placed under a tree or something that you do or something that you buy or something that you become. You are the gift. And we need to not whisper that. You are the gift. It's you. The gift you bring is you. You bring gold and frankincense and myrrh to the constant rebirthing of the Christ in the world. So how can we think about this using that gold, frankincense, and myrrh symbolism? Well, this is your golden gift, the gift of your attention, your time, your connection, your attention, right? The physical, personal you associated with the gold can offer a listening ear, some encouragement, compassion, gently spoken truth, right? Forgiveness. This is the gift that speaks truth and is sensitive to what others need, and that sensitivity comes from being attentive, from paying attention. Have you ever had one of those friends who, I am not this person, but I'm working on it. Have you ever had one of those friends who you mentioned something at one point that you like? And I had this happen recently. Early in the semester, my students, of course, they hang on my every word. Not. My students, I had mentioned early on, first week of the semester, that I love vanilla milkshakes from Sonic. So during finals week, I got 3 vanilla milkshakes from Sonic brought to my office out of my door. Now, there was motivation behind them doing this. But nonetheless, that person who pays such attention that they hear that one thing you say and then they come back and they bring it to you. I remember when you said such and such. And do you know how, you know that moment where it touches your heart, so not the gift itself, the fact that they paid such close attention. They heard me. They listened to me, right? And maybe somebody doesn't just need the attention of encouragement. Maybe our attention is that we pay close enough attention to know when somebody needs to be let off the hook. I used to say when it comes to like conflict, the best thing you can do in conflict is make sure you leave a graceful exit for the other person. Because cornered bears are dangerous, right? You leave a graceful exit for the other person. It's a gift that you can give, and that means you're paying attention. When I started seeing students in my office not as an interruption, but as an opportunity to stop and give my full attention to this person in front of me, it changed everything about my teaching. Everything about what I do. This person in front of me is my full priority right now. My full priority. I had a boss years ago who physically modeled that for me. The way that her desk set, when you walked in her office, she was to the side of you. And when someone walked in her office, she would stop. She would take her fingers off the keyboard and fully turn her entire body to the person. And she did it so intentionally that it was noticeable. I am giving you my full attention right now. Simone Weil said that attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. I'd much rather have someone just be completely connected with me than someone walk in with a big present that they're going to hand me. We all like presents. Let's not get this wrong. Let's not get it twisted. We all like presents, but I don't need them. Anybody else at the age of your life where you're like, I need nothing. I don't need anything from anybody. I need time, attention, a really meaningful moment, whatever. What? Socks. I need socks. I need socks. I need food. That's about it. Socks and food. I'm good to go. It is the greatest gift you can give. Thich Nhat Hanh called it the most precious gift you can give is your attention. Now, before you say, gosh, this sounds exhausting. You know, sometimes you're just too busy. Sometimes you're not meaning to ignore people. You're just you're on task. You're focused. And maybe it's your time to receive right then. I mean, that's the part of being in spiritual community, is we offer the gift of ourself as an exchange. So that if I'm busy and running around like this, then maybe the gift that Ryan gives to me is, you know what, let her go. Let me get out of her way. Let her do that. And then comes back and doesn't give me, well, you were just all lost in thought this morning, but instead comes back and encourages me and says, oh my gosh, you are on point, Deb. You are on point. What a gift that is. What a gift it is to be sensitive to where someone else is and make space for what they need in that moment, whatever it is. right? Are you paying attention enough to recognize that someone else is busy, maybe stressed, and you're able to give them the gift of not interrupting their flow? Just let them go. They'll work it out. Our frankincense gift is the gift of our presence. Now, this is different from attention. This is spiritual attention, right? It doesn't always require direct attention on another person, but attention to spiritual flow. The gift that we give to each other spiritually is to be in presence, right? The gift of our presence. When I was interviewed for the job that I have now, many years ago, I remember, and I didn't plan this, it just came out. One of the questions they asked me in the interview, and it's still the question I would give, just boom, came through me. They said, "What is the most important thing you bring to the classroom?" And without even thinking, I said, "My presence." So I take care of myself, because who I am makes all the difference in the classroom. The energy that I have makes all the difference in the classroom. And I still contend that. The best thing I bring to any situation is my presence, my willing presence. I am not the type to remember birthdays and cards and gifts. It's just not me. But I hope that when someone is with me, that they feel my presence here in this space, offered fully, offered freely. Right? Presence is the doorway to the sacred. And when you give your presence to a moment or a situation or a person, you're opening the door for holy magic to swoop in and do things we can't imagine. Presence goes beyond "I am here with you." And it says, "I am here with sacred awareness with you. I'm here to hold the high watch. I'm here to bear witness. I bring the temple incense." Right? I'm here to help you remember who you are as I remember who I am. Eckhart Tolle said, "Wherever you are, be there totally." I was going to find a really, really spiritual picture for this, and then I found a picture of this woman at Mardi Gras, and I'm like, you know what? She is 100% committed to that moment. You gotta be. In that moment of dance and celebration and joy and party and headdress and feathers and all the bling and the sparkle, you gotta be 100% committed. If she was half committed to that, it would almost be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Have you ever seen somebody try to perform something and they're like half committed to it and you're like, "Oh, I feel a little embarrassed. I'm feeling a little sorry for you," right? Be fully committed. It's like my choir teacher used to say, if you're gonna make a mistake, make it loud. Make it good, make it loud, make it proud, right? We can fix a mistake, but we can't fix this. So presence is this doorway to the sacred. And sacred presence is a way of saying, I bring my full measure of myself to this moment. I bring the full measure of myself to this moment. I am fully here with you. Here's the good news. When you know who you are, when you release attachments to outcomes and expectations, then this all-in presence is not tiring. Sometimes we hear that. I don't know if you're like me. Oh, I'm going to bring the full measure of myself to who I am. Oh, God, do I have to? Right? It's exhausting. No, it's the way, it's what happens on the other side of exhaustion. It's the thing that happens when you let go of exhaustion. I bring my full presence to this moment, which is the least tiring thing I do, is be fully in the moment with myself, right? It's not demanding. It's the most natural thing in the world. It's not a pretense of sacredness. That is exhausting, right? Trying to pretend that you are holy and sacred and centered and all this good stuff can wear you out. It's not a striving to be what the moment demands. It's paying close attention to and accepting your natural state of being in this moment, allowing it to flow. It's dance like nobody's watching, and eat when you're hungry, and follow that internal nudge to go hug that person who seems to be hurting. It's about being non-resistant to what the moment is asking from you right there, right? Because every resistance is an attachment. And every attachment is something that keeps me from living in the sacred presence. Right? Every resistance is an attachment. So let me be fully non-resistant to this moment. The gift of myrrh is the gift of our consciousness. I think we interchange awareness and awakening a little too often sometimes. For me, this is just me, everything I've talked about up to this point can be handled by someone who is aware, right? Awareness is like the spiritual seeker, the pilgrim, the initiate, the disciple, the magi. This is the one who's aware of spiritual depths we haven't yet visited, but we know they're there. And I'm a spiritual being, following a path, in search of that. But then we visit those spiritual depths. We get that feeling of complete emptiness. We go into that space where it's nothing but holy, sacred presence. Not even divided between an I and a you, God, but a non-dual oneness. I'm part of the oneness. I know who I am. That's an awakening. I've been in the empty space where nothing exists but me and the Great Spirit. I've been changed. I can never unknow this. I might forget it 17 times a day, but because I've been there, all I have to do is acknowledge it and boom, I'm right back there instantaneously. I don't even have to work to get back there because I know where it is. I know the way, right? When we experience this awakening, this fully alive, awake, and open consciousness, we bring the greatest gift of all to the world. This is the myrrh gift, the gift associated with death. Because when we awaken, we no longer know the person who is not awakened. That is someone who no longer exists. The person who had attachments and deep struggles and psychological pain, that person is now seen as the mirage, the illusion, because now I'm looking at that person from the place of sacred presence, the place where there is no pain. I can still experience psychological pain in my humanness. I do. Trust me, I do. Stress is real. God is real. Stress is real, right? On the human level, stress is real. But I can always go back to that sacred presence place and observe the person experiencing stress. I don't have to be imprisoned by it. I'm now just observing it. We say goodbye to that person. We welcome the new life, the resurrected life, the awakened life. We are fully conscious. I was looking for a quote that completely summed this up for me. I couldn't find one. I made my own. One indication of an awakened spirit is the deep desire to offer your own awakening to the world for its healing. That's like part one. This deep desire, I want to be part of healing the world. That's why people who are awakened often do things like, I'm going to join in this mass meditation this day. I'm going to be part of this World Day of Prayer. I'm going to be part of whatever, because they have a deep desire for the world to be healed, and they've seen that it can be. And the second part is this, paired with the deep realization that your awakening was never personal to begin with, but already belonged to all the life energy in the universe. Spiritual seeking is all about me. Awakening is not about me at all. It's about accepting who I really am. Sacred presence. Let's say a body has a disease, maybe a cancer, and one cell responds to the medicine and transforms. It's healed. That one cell doesn't suddenly start wearing mala beads and putting on some, mine probably did, wearing yoga pants, saying namaste, right? All that kind of stuff. That one cell doesn't say, look at me, I did it. I awakened, I beat cancer, I'm special. Because the way the body works is that one cell's healing encourages and benefits the next cell's healing. Every cell is affected by every cell around it. And the true healing is the healing of the body, not the healing of that one cell. We're here to awaken the world. We are here to awaken the world. I believe that. We are here to awaken the world. And that doesn't mean proselytize. You know me, that's the last thing it means. Don't anybody in here go knock on anybody's door and say, we're from Mini Path Spiritual Center. Please don't. Please don't. And we want to talk to you about fan fiction. All right. Yeah.
So, if you claim to respect and honor all beliefs, then how can you call scripture fan fiction?
Fan fiction is not a bad thing.
So, are you just using the nativity to make things like look pretty and nice? If you refute
No, fan fiction is not a bad thing. We could go into a really deep discussion of this, but the scripture, yeah, we can do that. The scripture itself, like when we look at the four gospels, the first gospel theologians believe was written about 45 to 50 years after the death of Jesus. So it was a story that was carried down orally through a group of people and then was written down, right? And so when I say fan fiction is not a bad thing. Some of the best stuff I've ever read about Harry Potter has been written by the fans who wrote it, right? Yep. So, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was trying to make a little bit of a joke there. So fiction is, okay, thank you. We'll talk about it afterwards, all right? So yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I would never want to offend anyone. It'd be the last thing that I would ever want to do. All of Scripture, all of sacred belief, all of pathway is sacred and holy, right? And so whether someone holds up a crystal or a mala or the Bible, whatever is sacred to a person is sacred to a person, right? And so that is what is really important here. I believe we're here to awaken the world. I believe that that doesn't mean to proselytize. I believe that this means giving the gift of our awakening. Whatever our own awareness, whatever our own understanding, whatever our awakening is, giving it hopefully without any offense, certainly not without any intentional offense, giving it without any kind of judgment about the way other people find their own pathway. That's why we're called many paths, right? Lao Tzu says this, if you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation, right? That of your own self-transformation. And how it is that we find this is a different path for every single person. Thus our name. The way that we come to this, whether it is through the gospel of Jesus Christ, whether it is through the Torah, the Quran, whether it is through traditions that your family held, whether it is through pagan practices, whatever it is that helps you find the center of your beingness in sacred truth. That is what allows you to give the gift. That makes you the gift to the world. And we offer that freely so that the world can awaken and we can all birth the Christ within. Namaste.
All right. I want to say thank you so much for all of you taking the time out to come play with us today. I love the little kisses. Oh, all is well. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. I want to say thank you for bringing your energy to play with ours today. I want to remind everybody of the events that we have coming up. We have some great things. The Yule log craft is going to be so much fun, but I want to encourage everybody to sign up for that, because anytime that it takes one of our teachers or facilitators to, if they have to provide anything for the class, be sure to sign up so they'll know how much to purchase. And if you don't sign up, the class or event will not happen, because they have to know in advance to provide all of this stuff. So be sure and do that. Also want to remind you that we have the blue vase there in the back for your paper donations, and we have the QR code for PayPal for if you want to donate that way. All of your gifts are appreciated. We're talking about the gifts of time, the time that you choose to share with us by coming to services or attending classes or events, your gifts of talents, everything that the gifts that you bring to this community, whether it's your knowledge, your education, the classes that you can teach, the gifts of your treasures, whether it's financial or other. Everything is so appreciated in this community, and we want you to continue to bring those to the table. So if there's nothing else, let's all stand up and say our closing prayer together. And I think Daphne's going to lead us in that.
All right, everyone. May I stay true to the path that leads me to the light that is mine to shine. May my light provide help and kindness to others on their journey. May I bring peace to every situation, comfort to the grieving, and love to all beings. May my heart remain centered on what is sacred to my soul, and so it is.
2, 3, 4. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, 'cause someone's for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Thank you so much, everybody.